KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning and God bless. I'm Dominique DiPrima. The show is First Things First, and my first thing today and every day is giving thanks, giving praises, and asking for blessings from God, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders. And let's go. Happy Thursday. As usual, we got a lot going on and a lot to talk about. Okay, so the way we do the show Monday through Thursday, hour one, we look local. Hour two, we go national, international, and beyond. And in the third hour, we do a deep dive on a hot topic or an interesting person. Today, we will be talking with Professor Efren Perez. He has his PhD from Duke, and he teaches political science and psychology at UCLA. So that should be a very timely conversation. Hour two, we'll be chopping it up with progressive pastor Eddie Anderson. He ran for city council. He is running a bunch of programs in the community, and I'm looking forward to getting his thoughts on the national landscape. Of course, you are meant to be a participant in all of those conversations. All you have to do is call 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. Right now, it's me, you, Miles, and whatever's, your imaginary friend, whatever you got going on at home. All you have to do is call me or get into YouTube, youtube.com, and then type KBLA 1580, and you'll find us streaming live there right this second. And they always have quite a good conversation going in the YouTube comments chat thingy, whatever that thingy is. I love to check it out. I love to see what y'all are talking about while I'm talking about things. And so, yeah, let's do this. There's a lot going on as usual. I feel like there's going to be a lot going on for pretty much the foreseeable future, definitely the next 4 years and beyond. I should say 2 years, because I'm really feeling like even if this election proves to be legit, the work is going to be all about dismantling the Senate and the Congress in the next 2 years, and also our local elections, our local victories, in our community organizing. So let's talk about it. Whew. What is going on? I mean, we're talking about rain, right? Rain over the weekend. It's really cold. I see 44 degrees outside right now, which is why I have this giant Eskimo coat. Don't clown. I don't like being cold. I just don't. I wasn't built for that. But yet, that means a lot of people, as Billion Godson said on his post yesterday on Africa Town Coalition Instagram, it means a whole bunch of people are going to be in danger this weekend, right? It's meant to be rainy. I don't know if it's going to be as bad as Northern California and other parts of the state where they're calling it an atmospheric river, but it's going to be rainy and it's cold. And that always makes me think about the people that are unsheltered, that have nowhere to go. Well, according to the controller for the city of Los Angeles, Kenneth Mejia, he said only $599 million has been spent, and then another additional $195 million was encumbered. I guess not really even quite sure what that means. I'm assuming it means spoken for, flagged, and that the 2023-2024 budget for dealing with the unhoused, which is $1.3 billion, has about $500 million that has not been spent. The controller says it's because of an inefficient approach, a sluggish approach to taking on this problem. It's hard for me to wrap my mind around that, because I feel like the office of the mayor has been prioritizing the unhoused in a very robust way since she took office, but it doesn't make sense to me. And I know it's not just the mayor, it's all of the infrastructure, all of the various agencies that have to do their part, the various Different city departments and council offices all have to do their part. The mayor cannot wave a magic wand. And also, according to the controller's office, only about 30% of the grants from the state homeless housing assistance and prevention program have been spent to deal with this problem. I guess encumbered in this context means spoken for, designated, because they're saying the encumbered amount will probably be spent eventually. Again, they're saying only half of the money from ULA has been spent. That's the mansion tax. And according the city administrative office for the city of Los Angeles is challenging what the controller found. They're saying that some of the money that the controller is counting was meant to be spent over multiple years and not just within that one budget year. So it wasn't a fair assessment. And that it didn't account for money that is being used to buy the Mayfair Hotel, which is meant to get people off the street and would be reimbursed at some point by the Inside Safe program. And I know that there's all kinds of procedural things and fine print when it comes to moving this kind of money around. You don't just get to go, you get a house and you get a house and you get a house. The comms deputy mayor, Mr. Zach Seidel, says that the mayor is executing a prudent and comprehensive strategy that has brought houselessness down for the first time ever. And we don't want you to just be spending money just to be spending money, but it seems that in the level of emergency that we're dealing with right now, it's hard to fathom why. Why. Seidel also says that the city's antiquated systems are getting in the way. He said the mayor warned us about that when she came into office, and I think that's right. I mean, she said it on this show. She said as much on this show that they have to change systems, and some of the obstacles that stand in the way of building housing or evaluating people properly so they could get the help they need are in need of changing, and some of those can be changed quickly, but others require systems to move, and systems don't move quickly, whether that's city systems or county systems. And the controller confirms that houselessness in the city of LA overall down by 2% in 2024. What the controller is saying is that more could be done. More could have been done. It's, I'm sure, an issue that we'll hear a lot of follow-up on. I know I'd rather have that than what we're seeing at the state level, which is money unaccounted for, where we don't have enough transparency to even know whether our money is being wasted or whether it's just being rushed through a system that's meant to deal with an emergency and therefore not properly tracked. I feel like it's more than likely some of both, but in this cold winter morning, and we're reading about possible rain ahead. I mean, I never take it too seriously, because I think it was last month they were saying it was La Nina, so we're going to have a very dry winter. We don't know for sure, but the predictions for the weekend are probably on point, that we'll see some rainfall. And whenever, and I know I haven't hopped in the YouTube chat yet, but I know how y'all are, my East Coast delegation. clowning us for not being used to the cold weather. But, and I'm not. I'm wearing a huge winter coat and, spending all my money on the heater. But that said, people die on these streets every day. Something like 4 or 5 people a day in LA perish, unhoused people. And so it's not me I'm worried about because I have a big coat, some hot tea, and the ability to blow out my entire budget on the gas bill. But what about the folks that don't? It seems to me whatever resources or whatever ability we have to address this emergency, we need to be doing that. I acknowledge that I'm an armchair quarterback here, but I'm also meant to be an advocate. Love to hear from you. 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. We're unapologetically progressive. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Did you know that 1 in 6 African American men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer? This month, every time you purchase Gillette's family of products, they'll donate to support Movember. Whether you're looking for Gillette's Best Shave, a regimen to help prevent new shave irritation and bumps, or award-winning beard care products, every Gillette purchase can make a difference in the fight against prostate cancer. Visit pggoodeveryday.com/Movember for details. Exclusions apply.
Here's another great reason to use the United States Postal Service this season. When sending a package, why venture outside? Ship with USPS for a true holiday ride. Want to stay cozy and warm? There's no need to roam. With free package pickup and labels printed from home. We have over 600,000 employees always in motion. And before you know it, your gift has delivered emotion. Spread the holiday joy this season with USPS's enhanced network. Learn more at USPS.com/holidayride.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Race, culture wars, political turf battles, criminal justice, and injustice. The courts. These are the conversations you won't hear elsewhere. My guests are leading journalists, celebrities, and sports figures, elected leaders, and influencers. They aren't afraid to get into it and say the quiet part out loud. With Ariva Martin in real time, your commute just became the most engaging part of your day. Tune in weekdays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. or find us on YouTube. Ariva Martin in real time, when you want it straight, no chaser.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors. Use as directed. Vapo Stick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline nasal spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Did you know that 1 in 6 African American men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer? This month, every time you purchase Gillette's family of products, they'll donate to support Movember. Whether you're looking for Gillette's Best Shave, a regimen to help prevent new shave irritation and bumps, or award-winning beard care products, every Gillette purchase can make a difference in the fight against prostate cancer. Visit pggoodeveryday.com/Movember for details. Exclusions apply.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
Yes, starving myself to life. I have a big, giant winter coat. Yes, I do. And no, it is not 70 degrees. It is 44. I don't need it to go any lower than that. I live in California for a reason. The This is the coat. See it? Like my nice Eskimo look going here. And I just don't like being cold. But anyway, I have nothing to complain about. I have a car and a house and a heater that usually works and stuff. So, again, I was talking about the audit of the city household services. Let's talk about, by the controller, the one by the LA County Auditor Controller of LAHSA, the Los Angeles Homeless Services Agency, that found that they're paying their bills late, moving money around in a way that sometimes creates problems, taxpayer funds meant for one thing, going to another thing, going to providers that weren't even supposed to get that money. This is an audit that was apparently ordered by Supervisor Lindsay Horvath. And now she's talking about creating a whole new department to monitor this money. What do you think? Is that a good idea or not? I feel like Supervisor Horvath and Supervisor Hahn were behind this measure that did pass, that's now expanding the LA County Board of Supervisors and making the CEO, the county CEO, an elected position. It's not something I supported because I think that the CEO being an elected is going to slow things down even more and muck things up even more because now it's politicized. But alas, I was outvoted by y'all. And so we're going to see how that goes. We also know that creating these new supervisorial districts, offices, right, going from 5 to 9, is going to cost money. Every office has to have a staff and a budget and blah, 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 blah. So that's already a pretty big expenditure. And now you're talking about creating a new county department tasked with dealing with homelessness. And I wonder if that's a good use of our money. It would be if it created significant accountability or centralization that actually helped someone. It would not be if it just creates more red tape and more people not fixing the problem. And I don't know that I'm enough of an expert to make that call, but I certainly would love to hear from the County Board of Supervisors what reassurances that they can give us that this doesn't just create more red tape and slow things down even more. I can see the argument for centralization, but how does that interact with LAHSA? Valencia Adams-Kellum took over LAHSA in 2023. She's been running the agency about a year and a half. She says a lot of the stuff that's reflected in this report happened before she got on board. Some of it is the practices that came into play during the emergency phase of COVID, and that fixes are already in motion. But concerning, if you're not paying providers on time when you have the money, imagine what kind of problems that creates, because these providers don't always have their own big deep pockets that they can dip into. They said that they don't do a good job of monitoring contracts to make sure providers are living up to their agreements with the county. They say that they don't have agreements with service providers to repay them advances that were paid to these providers. Apparently $50 million is owed to the county, and so far only $2 million has been paid back. So, once again, what we're talking about is the agency that's tasked with delivering the services that taxpayers are funding in order to deal with this unhoused persons crisis. And this is not unique to LA City or county. Obviously, we had the statewide audits earlier this year. Thing about LAHSA, it's an agency that is funded by both the city and the county. So it's beholden to both. There's pieces of the puzzle that have to be completed by both the city and the county according to how we have things set up in order for this crisis to be resolved or improved. And so between the city and the county audits, I imagine hopefully we're going to see a flurry of activity by electeds to come up with some new measures. It almost feels, and here's the problem: you can't tear the whole thing down. You have literally tens of thousands of people depending on LASA and the city and county to keep the people that we do keep off the streets, even as more folks are falling into houselessness. We've got Fred on the phone calling us from LA. Good morning, Fred.
Oh, good morning, Dominique. For the same reason you mentioned, I don't think that's such a good idea to expand the border. They should just leave it at 5. Now, who are the people that's going to run for these seats? I guess the Democrat, Republican,
whoever wants to, whoever can qualify. I mean, honestly, it's already a done deal, Fred. I voted against it, but it's a done deal.
I did too. Yeah, that's a mess. Yeah, how does Karen Bass feel about this? She thinks it's a good idea. She's the mayor of LA.
I don't know, but
she's for election.
Yeah, but that's a county. I mean, that's a county measure. That she doesn't have any say-so over it. It's the Board of Supervisors. I don't know how she feels about it. I actually didn't weigh in on. I didn't look into that. But why do you say it's a mess, Fred?
Well, I prefer that the five women run the board of supervisors, just like you said a minute ago. I think it's going to cause it's going to cause some red tape, and I don't think the measure should have been on the ballot in the first place. But I'm like you, I voted no for that thing. It just sounds like a whole bunch of chaos. I was going to ask you another note. How do you think about the Mark Ridley Thomas trial today? You think he'll be able to get the appeal overturned, or he's going to have to take it to the Supreme Court in D.C.?
I am prayerful and hopeful that Dr. Ridley Thomas will be exonerated, that he will be not only, cleared, but also fully exonerated, that his family can put this episode behind them, that LA can put this episode behind us. And it's terrible. I was just thinking, I've been thinking since the election how much we miss him right now, right? How much when the going gets tough, like it is going to be for the next 4 years, you need those experienced warriors that know how to protect county resources, city resources, programs. What do you think, Fred? We just got a couple seconds here.
Let me make it quick. You're on point, 100%. I'm going to say a special prayer that case goes his way. And one last thing.
Okay, hold that thought, Fred. Hold that thought. I got a hard stop for news, traffic, and sports, but I'll be happy to hear your one more thing when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know from BIN News. The Justice Department wants a federal court to force Google to sell off its popular Chrome web browser as part of an antitrust case. The request, made Wednesday, comes after a court ruled in August that the company holds a monopoly in the online search market. A man accused of a mass shooting that killed 3 University of Virginia football players has pled guilty to multiple charges connected to the case. Christopher Darnell Jones Jr. entered his guilty plea yesterday. Jones is accused of opening fire on a bus returning from a field trip in November 2022. The U.S. is reopening its embassy in Ukraine after fears of a Russian attack. The embassy in Kyiv was shut down Wednesday morning after it issued an urgent warning that Russia might launch a significant air attack. And Pamela Hayden, the voice of Milhouse Van Houten on The Simpsons, is stepping away after 35 years. Her final performance will be this Sunday in a Treehouse of Horror episode. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 at BINnews.com.
Lowe's knows you want to get even more value for the holidays. That's why, as a My Lowe's Rewards member, you get new member deals every week on holiday decor, tools, and more. Program subject to terms and conditions. See Lowe's.com/terms for full details. Subject to change.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The NFL said it has no issues with players doing the Trump dance to celebrate a touchdown or a big play, but the league had all sorts of issues with players kneeling during the national anthem 4 years ago to protest social injustices after George Floyd's death. With more players doing the Trump dance since he won the presidential election, the NFL was forced to respond on whether the dance is a violation of the league's celebration rules. The NFL said the Trump dance is not a violation because, in their view, the dance is not a political statement. When some players wanted to kneel during the national anthem to protest police brutality, it became a political statement. Fans, politicians, and some NFL owners said kneeling was disrespectful to the U.S. flag and military. Trump was president when he called the players who wanted to kneel SOBs. It's obvious the NFL has its own definition of political statements. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
November is Youth Hope Month, shining a light on young people facing homelessness. Nearly 4.2 million experience homelessness in the U.S. Sanctuary of Hope is here to help. Join us for 2 empowering events. The SOH Freedom Summer Community Report Back on Thursday, November 21st, 6 p.m. and Interfaith Candlelight Vigil, November 25th, 6 p.m. Both events will be at the Sanctuary of Hope, 4003 West Adams Boulevard, Los Angeles. We honor the courage of transition-aged youth empowered by lessons of civil rights and justice. Hold a candlelight vigil that shines a light on the urgent issue of youth homelessness, uniting our commitment to a brighter future for all. That's the SOH Freedom Summer Community Report Back on Thursday, November 21st, 6 p.m. and Interfaith Candlelight Vigil, November 25th, 6 p.m. More info? Visit thesoh.org. That's thesoh.org. Have you heard of the 50-30-20 rule? This can help you spend and save your money wisely. So, how does it work? Distribute your dollars into 3 buckets. 50% towards needs, 30% towards your wants, and 20% goes to savings. Use this tool to help your journey to financial success. Sponsored by J.P. Morgan Chase & Company.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I occasionally have nerve discomfort in my hands, so the things I love to do...
Let's play something, Grandma.
...became difficult as I got older.
If you have occasional stabbing and burning in your hands and feet, try Nervive Nerve Relief. Nervive's clinically studied dose of alpha-lipoic acid reduces occasional nerve discomfort in as little as 7 days with continued daily use. Say yes to healthy nerves with Nervive Nerve Relief. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Eggs are a staple in our diets, and there's only one egg with more delicious farm-fresh taste plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best. With more vitamins, including 6 times more vitamin D and 10 times more vitamin E, plus 25% less saturated fat than ordinary eggs. Available in so many delicious varieties. Classic, cage-free, and organic. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Fred, you know, I'm glad you brought up the Mark Ridley Thomas case. The arguments are being made in court in Pasadena today, and they're actually asking for court support. So if you have the ability to go to court and show your support for Dr. Ridley Thomas, who literally spent decades advocating for us, they are asking that you do so. They're also continuing to raise money for the defense. And that is Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals in Pasadena, California. I just think it's such an unnecessary and problematic prosecution. But he's out on bail on appeal, so he was sentenced to, I think, 43 or 42 months, which is a substantial amount of time in prison for somebody that has spent his entire life in service, who has no priors, and against whom the charges are quite shaky. So again, go ahead, Fred.
Yeah. You go, it's a waste of taxpayers' money. That's not right. I know you have a lot of callers. I'm going to say real quick, I hope you have a nice Thanksgiving. I'm going to go to my church or a cathedral and treat myself to a senior meal IHOP in the Crenshaw district. So I hope you have a nice Thanksgiving with your family and take care. God bless. And I hope to get on next Tuesday. And you're a great co-host. Keep doing what you're doing. You go, girl.
Thank you, Fred. I appreciate that. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Happy giving thanks, or whatever it is that your family celebrates, Friendsgiving. That's all happening next week. Trips me out the way the LA Times kind of called out everyone who donated to the MRT Defense Fund. Well, not everyone, but I guess some of the larger donors. And it's just interesting that they do that. I haven't seen them really doing that in articles on other persons who are in this position. But one of the things that I do love, if there's anything to love about a debacle like this, is that the Black community of Los Angeles has stood by Dr. Mark Ridley Thomas. For the most part. I mean, and I'm talking about movers and shakers, right? To some degree, I expect activists and organizers on the ground to stand with him because he stood with us for so many years. But seeing society types, politicians, all kinds of business people being unwavering in their support of Dr. Ridley Thomas. And I think that is, that's powerful. It shows you the impact of the work that Dr. Ridley Thomas has done. Not only that, it's one of those moments where LA shows that it's not always the stereotype of itself. It's a nuanced place. And we shall see, because the jury acquitted Dr. Ridley Thomas of 12 charges, and it seemed like the jury, from the reporting that our own Dion Raymond did, Attorney Dion Raymond, that the jury was pretty confused. And as Dr. Ridley Thomas told the LA Times, he's looking for more than just like, oh, I don't have to go to jail. He's looking for getting his good name back. And I don't know if you ever can get everything back after an experience like this, the damage to the family, community. But it is my prayer that he gets everything back that is possible to be retrieved at this point. Yeah. So we shall see. We shall see. Today is a big day. If you wanted to put some prayers up, today would be a good time to do that. And it's interesting, the LA Times is speculating that the horrible ruling of the Extreme Court, the U.S. Extreme Court, that said that this Republican mayor from Indiana who took direct payments from a truck dealership that helped him get a contract was receiving a tip, not a bribe, because it was after the fact. We wonder if that would have any impact, and that's what they're speculating. But this is really different than that, because Dr. Ridley Thomas never took any money. Only thing they're accusing him of is getting a scholarship and a job for his son, which wasn't proven. It's implied, but I don't know how the jury came to this conclusion. And that Supreme Court decision that would be ironic if a terrible, very bad decision made by the U.S. Supreme Court actually ended up assisting one of our progressive heroes here on the West Coast. The air quality in the studio, which is really, really great. Taking a deep breath of that very clean air. Outside in LA, it's 60, which is moderate, meaning could be irritated if you're highly sensitive, but if you're not highly sensitive, go get that workout in. The air quality is pretty good right now. That's brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580, but the data and the air filtration system is IQ Air. Perfect time to call me, 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. They're responding in the chat. Selena Rick says, I ain't in California, but I stand with MRT. And I'm pretty sure that's a common sentiment. Because, it's not just about personal relationships. It's also about mostly it's about the work. The man who saved Martin Luther King Hospital, the man who has helped fund or support or stand up many, many programs that impact young people and nonprofits in the community, the man who completed that piece of the Baldwin Hills Conservancy that you all love so much. I know I love it. Baldwin Hills Scenic Overlook. We're just beautifying the community and providing places for exercise and fellowship. It's just a tiny, tiny sampling. Who spent decades of his life serving the community as an organizer in the Southern Christian Leadership Conference of Southern California. And on it goes. I think it's the work. It's the work that will stand the test of time. It's the work. And I know a lot of you were speculating because the son in question, Sebastian Ridley Thomas, former assembly member, was on board with the president-elect as far as stumping for him and being part of that MAGA movement. And a lot of people were saying this is his effort to get his dad a pardon. And more power to him if he's able to do that. I don't see it, though, because I believe that MRT has been such a consistent fighter for the progressive values and money to support programs for the unhoused, the low income, black people, BIPOC people in both the city, the county, and the nonprofit space. I just don't see him being able to move off of the Republican administration's current enemies list and onto the pardon list, especially when he's got so many former and proposed colleagues that are going to need to use those pardons. Yeah. Well, Starving Myself to Life is also responding to the news story about the Trump dance. And that's, I think the way that Ray Richardson put it is perfect. Clearly the owners, the NFL owners, have their own definition of what's political and what's not. And given the fact that they're all billionaires who are billionaires and billionaires, and this current administration is about oligarchy, which is definitionally billionaires bossing around everybody else. Of course they allow the Trump dance. Of course they do. They are the very people that funded that campaign. Of course it's allowed. Are the slaves on the plantation allowed to celebrate masa? Of course they are. Are you allowed to celebrate Nat Turner? Not so much. 800-920-1580. If you want to weigh in, agree, disagree, engage. That's what it's all about. KBLA Talk 1580.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580.
Are you coughing a lot, especially at night? Are you often short of breath? Are you using your rescue inhaler often? These could be signs that your asthma is not under control. To keep your asthma in check and help prevent an asthma attack, ask your healthcare provider for an asthma action plan. This is a personalized plan you create with your doctor that shows you what to do and what medicines to help control your asthma and to use when you're having a hard time breathing or when you're having an asthma attack. Please don't wait until you're having an asthma attack. Do something about it now. Schedule a visit with your healthcare provider today to make that action plan and take control of your asthma. For more tips and resources on the management of asthma, visit luma-edu.com. This message is brought to you by Amgen and AstraZeneca.
Whether you're going over the river and through the woods in the capable Silverado 1500, getting the choir to church on time in the 3-row Traverse.
Thank you!
Or driving cross town to deliver your famous Cajun-spiced holiday turkey in the Equinox EV, America's most affordable EV with a 315-plus mile range. Add confidence to every holiday adventure and get it done with a rugged and capable Chevy truck or SUV. Find your red tag. Get 0% APR financing for 36 months on select popular Chevy models when you finance with GM Financial. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Offer available on all 2025 Equinox and 2024 Silverado, Equinox EV, Blazer EV, and Silverado EV models. Monthly payment is $28.60 for every $1,000 you finance. Example down payment 22.2%. Must finance with GM Financial. Some customers may not qualify. Not available with lease and some other offers. Take new retail delivery by 12/2/24.
Thank you!
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. If you need help getting your resume in order, finding job training, or landing a job, we've got 3 great options for you. First, the City of Los Angeles has WorkSource centers across the area offering free job support. The California Workforce Development Board can help you with everything from GED prep to vocational training at no cost to you. On the federal level, the Department of Labor's American Job Centers offer a full range of services for job seekers and businesses alike. Visit careeronestop.org, or for more info, just call California's Help Center or visit cwdb.ca.gov or call 916-657-1440. For the City of Los Angeles programs, go to ewdd.lacity.gov or call 213-744-7300. All these services are free to help you get your next job. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Broadcasting live from Leimert Park, USA. Welcome back to your home for unapologetically progressive radio. KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome home indeed. And if you're thinking that you can show up in court today to support Dr. Mark Ridley Thomas as he tries to get exonerated, to get justice, really. It's at 125 South Grand Avenue in Pasadena, 125 South Grand Avenue in the city of Pasadena. That is the United States Court of Appeals. So looking at the weather, because y'all are debating it, that's probably my fault for showing off my cozy winter coat. You're right, it's supposed to be 75 degrees today, but when I come to work, it's 44, okay? And that's that bipolar Cali weather. Same thing happens in the Bay, where it'll be freezing and cold at night and then in the 70s during the day. However, and then tomorrow, partly cloudy with a 5% chance of rain. That rain chance increases over the weekend, with Saturday and Sunday at around 25%. And we're looking at temps in the 60s over the weekend. Low 60s Saturday, mid 60s Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So in other words, it's chilly. And then Monday is the highest chance of showers, but we're looking at possible rain all the way through the week. In fact, for the next 10 days to varying degrees. Rain is in the forecast. So, it is what it is. We need the rain. The fire fighting teams are hoping for it, especially in the Bay where they're looking at a possible atmospheric river. So they're looking at some real hardcore rain. That will help put an end, at least temporarily, to our fire season. And so that's a good thing. I worry about the unhoused. I really do, at the point where we are already seeing 4 or 5 a day dying on these streets. Did you guys know that X, aka Twitter, is suing the state of California? Elon is suing the state of California. Why would he sue the state of California, you ask? Could it be to counteract his lawsuits by the state against him for racism and labor violations? No, it's not that. Could it be connected to his illegal lottery to get voters to register and mark their ballots for the president-elect? No, it's not that. It's not that either. The richest man in the world is suing the state of California, the Golden State, because he doesn't like a law that was signed by the governor this year to try to stop deep fakes on social media. What is a deep fake? Somebody can use AI, or they can manipulate existing photos to create photographs and or actual video that isn't real. They can have a video of you saying, I love, Dr. Oz, for example. Vote Dr. Oz for Senate or whatever. They could make a video of you using AI or using a computer-generated animation kind of system, or who knows what other technology there is that can create a fake of you that looks and sounds convincing. And it could be porn. It could be you saying something you would never say. So California has a law which takes effect January 1st that was signed already into law by the governor, that is supposed to make it harder to disseminate deep fakes, harder to spread around not true things and fake porn. Remember last year, no, I think it was this year, when there was fake porn of Taylor Swift going around the internet. It's something that absolutely didn't happen, or something you never ever said, that is created using technology and then can spread online. But Elon Musk says it's going to create censorship of valuable political speech and commentary, and therefore he doesn't want to have to take down the deep fakes. And when you consider that he just weaponized the entire platform, Twitter, X, and there have been numerous articles reporting on how he changed the algorithm to amplify conservative thoughts and talking points and he who shall not be named content. Numerous reports on how he did that. He bought that platform, he bent it to the will of the president-elect, and helped to sway the outcome of the nation's election. Now, as far as what I can prove, that's what we know. I think the hacking went beyond that. I think he may have, along with Peter Thiel and others, the tech bros for, TRUMP, I think they manipulated the whole election. But I'm guessing. I'm speculating. But we know, demonstrably, provably know that he changed the algorithm to skew the outcome of the election. So what does that say to you? Remember, there was an AI, a deep fake on the internet. There were a couple of them of Kamala Harris during the election. And one of them was shared by Elon Musk and had millions of views by the time he took it down when it was, quote unquote, discovered that it was a deep fake. Now, if you are, it doesn't matter to me if you're a Republican, a Democrat, an independent, a member of the Nazi Party, you should be worried about this, because to me, the idea that someone can fake you saying or doing something, fake porn of you, should be of concern to all of us, because it can go viral, and even if they take it down, a lot of people saw that, and a lot of people are uninformed and dumb enough to believe it. There are many, many consumers of social media that do not know the difference between a deep fake and the real thing. There are many, many, many. I get DMs all the time with stuff that is provably untrue, that was in a meme or some podcast or whatever, and the people buy it wholesale. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. The state is not commenting, and X is not commenting, but we know that the owner of X, the man who calls himself the presidential buddy and who aides to the president, or already president-elect, I should say, are already grumbling and mumbling, has too much influence, is suing to be able to keep deep fakes on his platform. And California authorities are saying, look, these can sway actual elections. This kind of mis and disinformation where people think they see it with their own eyes is very damaging, and we have to do something to stop it. In fact, yeah, a spokesperson for the governor said deep fakes threaten the integrity of elections. And the California laws protect democracy while preserving free speech. And they're saying it's no more stringent than what other states have, including Alabama and Mississippi, who are very conservative states. Yeah, follow the money and you'll see where their priorities are. And I think it's true. Who is saying that in the chat? Oh, yeah, Jeff M. says that's why people are leaving X and going to Blue Sky. They're also going to Spill, which is a black-owned platform. And I've noticed that a lot of my followers are, I'm losing followers, and I think, it's not just because I have trash content. I think a lot of my followers, especially my blue checkmark followers, celebs and such, are leaving the platform. They are going to Blue Sky. Should I do that? What do you guys think? Reply in the chat, 800-920. I've kind of felt like I wanted to be there in the toxic waste dump that X has become, just to kind of know what's going on and put my little positivity over the bow. But what do you think? A lot of folks are leaving. And I hope, I see Blue Sky has gone up to 2 million users since the election. I hope Spill gets the same kind of love because it is a black-owned platform. And they were on here before the election. Should I stay or should I go? News, traffic, and sports. Then Pastor Eddie Anderson of Holman United Methodist Church is on with me. This is going to be a fun conversation. KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know from BIN News. The Justice Department wants a federal court to force Google to sell off its popular Chrome web browser as part of an antitrust case. The request, made Wednesday, comes after a court ruled in August that the company holds a monopoly in the online search market. A man accused of a mass shooting that killed 3 University of Virginia football players has pled guilty to multiple charges connected to the case. Christopher Darnell Jones Jr. entered his guilty plea yesterday. Jones is accused of opening fire on a bus returning from a field trip in November 2022. The U.S. is reopening its embassy in Ukraine after fears of a Russian attack. The embassy in Kyiv was shut down Wednesday morning after it issued an urgent warning that Russia might launch a significant air attack. And Pamela Hayden, the voice of Milhouse Van Houten on The Simpsons, is stepping away after 35 years. Her final